What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's Friday, 2:40 p.m., November 25th. How's everybody doing? I'm sure everybody's had a great Turkey Day holiday. Spent time with family and ate some good food and watched a movie, which is good. I mean, spending time with family and friends is a great thing to do. So today's topic I wanted to talk about is communication. Um, Communication is very important. Uh, Communication in your personal life between husband and wife, man and woman, woman and man, whatever, man on man, whatever your personal life is, and then also communication in the business realm. Just wanted to talk about communication because a lot of people have a hard time. It used to be very, very difficult. In my 20s and 30s, I had a hard time communicating properly, expressing myself, articulating certain words, how I feel, what I mean, and my communication skills was terrible. I've gotten a lot better. I'm so what I noticed in the past is that eye contact. Um, I was never really big on looking people in the eye. I don't know if that's a lack of confidence or I get nervous or I don't want to make the other person nervous. But eye contact is very important because that shows that you are interested in the conversation and you're paying attention. So, eye contact is very important, business and personal. When your spouse is talking to you or you are the boss and you're talking to your employees, looking people in the eye is very important. That means you mean what you say, you're direct, you're about business, you want their undivided attention, and you have their undivided attention when they respond back to you. So eye contact is very important, very, very important. What I also learned, um, your posture is important too. Um, this is something I really didn't know when I was younger. Your posture, how you are seated, if you're sitting down, having a discussion, you're not slouched, you don't have your hand on your chin and your head is not down and you're just all over the place. That's not good. Good posture is part of communication. Sitting up straight, sitting forward towards the person, that shows acknowledgement. That shows, once again, you're interested in the conversation. You are respecting the conversation. You are engaged in the conversation. That's very important. Good posture. Even if you are standing, how are you standing? Are you far away? Are you too close? Your hands in your pocket? Are your hands crossed? Body language is part of communication. It shows if you're interested, it shows if you are not, it shows if you're defensive, if you're open. Body language is very important. Also, when it comes to communicating, in the professional spectrum, you're greeting and saying goodbye. This is very important in the communication realm. When you talk to your boss or a coworker, it's very important to speak to them with a nice, stern voice so they can hear you. Not soft spoken, but not too aggressively loud. Nice, stern voice. Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. Good evening, Miss Williams. How are you doing today? Great. This is very important. A lot of folks don't know how to talk to people, especially at the workplace, which is ridiculous to me because this is a professional place. This is where you make your money. This is where you support your family. Communication is part of your job. You have to communicate with people. Even if it's not customer service, you still have to communicate with your employees, your boss, whoever. Learn how to talk to people. Learn how to utilize the greeting of the day, depending on what time it is. Good morning, good afternoon. I find it so rude if I come into somebody's office or they come into my office and they just want to start talking to me without saying, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, sir, Mr. Duran, Sergeant First Class Duran, whatever. No, give the proper greeting of the day. That should be your intro to anybody. That shows you respect that person and you know how to communicate properly. Even on the phone, people don't know how to communicate properly on the phone. No hello, how you doing, good afternoon, good evening. Nothing. They just start talking, asking you questions, telling you what to do. Excuse me, good morning. You're going to respect me because I earn my respect. And I'm going to let you know that you're going to respect me and you will give me the greeting of the day. That's just part of good communication skills, which a lot of people do not have. There is courses out there where you can watch tutorials and learn how to interact with people. And you don't need this just for work, because you interact with people every single day. If you leave your house, your bubble, you're interacting with people. Grocery stores, the gym, the laundromat, restaurants, a club, whatever. You're going to interact with people. So it's important to learn how to communicate, articulate your words, mean what you say what you mean, be stern when it's time to be stern, be settled when it's time to be settled. I notice too that a lot of individuals, when it comes to communication, can't verbally express themselves. Words have meaning and purpose. Learn how to use certain words when you're expressing yourself, when you're talking to people. That's why it's very important to read books. It's important to watch individuals on TV that's speaking proper English, using correct grammar, not always using slang, because when you get into a professional setting, you're going to find yourself talking slang to people you don't need to be talking slang to. There's a time and place for everything. When I'm around my friends, sure, I might use profanities, you know what I'm saying? Talk street, talk slang. But when I'm in a professional setting, I know how to, sir, ma'am, Mr. So and so, Mrs. So and so, sit in the chair, talk. And yes, I admit sometimes I might get too comfortable and, you know, backslide a little bit. But see, this is the beautiful thing about life is that you keep growing, you keep learning, you keep training to program your mind to do better. You understand? Have a self conversation before you go into a certain place. You know? Before I go into certain stores, I'll sit in my car and I will reflect real fast because I know there might be a lot of people in this store, a lot of people that's going through different things in their life. Some people have anger issues, some people are happy, some people have trauma. And learning how to communicate and articulate your words can save you from a lot of unnecessary stresses in your life. You know, I've noticed that communicating is so freaking important in all aspects of life. I never thought it was that important younger, but it's very important, y'all. For real. So, increase your vocabulary, okay? Start reading more. Start watching individuals who talk properly, who know how to articulate themselves properly. So the programming will get set in your brain. You start speaking much more proper. Go to school. Take English classes, grammar classes, speaking classes. Learn how to speak in front of people. I notice a lot of folks don't know how to speak in front of people or are afraid. That's understandable. You have to get comfortable. You can even do what I'm doing as a YouTuber, research certain topics and learn how to talk in front of the camera and talk to people. Think before you speak. Research what you want to talk about. Therefore, when you're in front of the camera, like I am, going on 16 minutes, you're not just sitting there with wasted airspace. You are interacting with the audience. You're giving information. You're giving your feedback. You're giving some good information. Even if it's not good information, we can have a discussion about it. Someone could say, hey, you left this part out about communication, or I don't agree with you about this with communication. That's the joy of being a YouTuber, is that we could put positive stuff out there in the atmosphere, serious things out there in the atmosphere, educational stuff. It doesn't always have to be silly and goofy, because I would like to educate and teach men and women the right thing. I want them to know my point of view, and I just want them to understand that, hey, maybe I'm just doing this wrong. Maybe this is how it's supposed to be done. You know, say what you mean what you say. Communicate properly. Greet individuals before you communicate. Eye contact, handshakes, good posture. Be stern with your voice. Not aggressive, but not soft, because you're confident. You know what you're talking about. Research as well, if it's on a certain subject. Don't just be rambling stuff you don't know what you're talking about, because you sound like a fool. You understand? And one of my very, very, very important key parts of communication, who know me personally, when a person's speaking, let them speak and finish what they're saying. Do not cut a person off. That makes me so frustrated when I'm trying to say what I have to say, and an individual who I'm having a conversation with or a debate with, or maybe even an argument with, has an impulse reaction, and either A, wants to overtalk you, B, cut you off while you're talking, or C, get real loud and disrespectful. I'm not going to tolerate none of that, because it takes two people to have a conversation. And if you do those three things, I'm going to walk off and you're just going to talk to yourself. I've learned not to argue, and I've learned not to have unnecessary discussions that's not going to come to a conclusion or be beneficial. Okay, you have to learn that. When you see this conversation is not going anywhere, stop having the conversation. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy. That's just causing extra stress on your life. And if there's no conclusion coming, because what's the point of having a discussion with no conclusion? You're just talking. I'm not into all that talking. What's the conclusion? You understand? This is all part of communication. Okay? So please, people, men and women, learn how to communicate properly. Okay? Articulate your words. Okay? Stern voice, not aggressive, but not soft. Eye contact, greeting of the day, closure of the day. Let people talk. Let's have an exchange of conversation, of words. Mean what you say what you mean. And I think these things will benefit you throughout your life, personal and professional. This is my opinion. But also what I do in my videos is in my description, I give you information from certain articles that kind of support what I talk about. Because some of the things on these articles that I do my research on, I do agree. And some stuff I don't agree with. But that's cool. But you know what? We have to go with what works for you and what is majority of the world doing in a positive spectrum, not stupidity. You understand? So if you know at your job you have to talk to a boss a certain way, the CEO a certain way, the manager a certain way, the president a certain way, your teachers a certain way, just do that for everybody. Just communicate, be nice, but be stern, get to the point, move on. Even if the discussion is nonsense to you. I had a guy yesterday, he was in the gym. I'm working out. I'm minding my business. He just gonna come up to me and say, "Hey man, you like this song?" Cause he was playing music without headphones. He had a speaker, so the music just playing. Whatever. And he had the song on repeat. No self-awareness. Like, oh my goodness. That's another discussion. But he's like, "Hey man, you like this song?" I said, "Who is it? I don't even know who this is. Who is it?" So I didn't answer his question. I wanted to know who the artist was. He told me the artist. I was like, I mean, it's okay. I didn't come here to hear your music. I came here to get chiseled. So, I kind of gave it that phony laugh. I was like, ha, ha, and I walked off. See what I'm saying? Like, whatever, petty, maybe a little bit rude, I guess. But it's not to the point where this person felt disrespected. I just said what I had to say and went back to working out. But anyway, y'all, listen, communication, all right? Take some classes, listen to people who know how to articulate themselves, to express themselves correctly, okay? Very important, men, women. Control your reaction and your emotions. That impulse reaction, cutting people off when they talk, control it. Let them talk. When they're done, you'll know you can respond. Because I'm telling you, you cut off the right person, they're going to check you. Hey, when I'm done talking, you can answer. You can retort. But when I'm speaking, please don't interrupt me. I've done that plenty of times, and I will continue to do it. So, all right, y'all. I hope y'all having a good Friday. I know today's that crazy day where people do shopping and act a fool. Please don't be doing that nonsense. Be safe, man. It's not that serious, man. I remember one Friday I was out here, the day after Thanksgiving. I seen people fighting over Tupperware. Like, crazy. Lord have mercy. But all right, communicate, y'all. Love, peace, but truth and realism. Just gonna say what it is. All right, y'all. Peace.